Research shows that in the 1970s, the attention span of the average human is 30 seconds, perhaps more than that. But then in the year 2000, it decreases to about 15, 18 seconds. But what about today? That's the shocker. 6 seconds. That is the average attention span of an average human. How did we get here? We're going to talk about that today. Hello, everyone. Welcome to Proverbial Minds podcast. It is your host again, Samuel, and today we are going to be talking about the art of deep listening, how to concentrate and focus in a noisy world. If you're here for the first time, do not forget to hit the notification button and to subscribe to the channel and share our videos with your friends and family so they can also benefit from this valuable timeless wisdom and truth that we share here on the Proverbial Mind podcast. In the world today, there is so much distraction, there is so much noise from social media. Just think about it. It never ends. You have your phone, and it's so beautiful that on the phone you can track how many times you pick up your phone in a day. And you're looking at me because you know you're guilty. If you look at your iPhone now, pick up your iPhone and look at your screen time, you're probably going to find 10 hours there, or 5 hours there, or perhaps even 20 hours. I don't know. Some people spend the whole day on the phone anyway. Or you probably find that you've picked your phone 120 times or 300 times in a day. What does that do to your focus? What does that do to your attention? Well, it depends on what you do with your phone. Now, what do we do with our phone? In the life of today, hardly will you ever see anybody, based on research, that picks up their phone to study or to read anything. When we pick that phone, we are either trying to read a message, or we are either trying to scroll on Instagram, or we are either trying to scroll on YouTube, or we are either trying to get ourselves distracted with the next latest things. What is bad about that? We got to have fun. We got to have a good time. You got to stay connected. And quite all right. I'm pretty sure when Mark Zuckerberg invented Facebook, his agenda or his mission was never to destroy anyone's life or to destroy anyone's destiny or whatsoever. But look at what it is today. And I would have to say, all the social media, be it Instagram, Facebook, and whatsoever that you use, has been a great tool to keep people together, families to connect. Now you can travel to anywhere in the world and still be able to talk to your family face to face using the same tool, social media. Social media has blessed us with the ability to connect to family and friends wherever you are in the world. And that has helped to sustain certain relationships, certain connections and family bonds that would have rather been destroyed or disconnected over the years due to lack of communication. In the 90s and the olden days before the age of mobile devices and social media, for you to discuss to your family or connect to your family, you would either have to send a mail or have to make a trip of how long, how many days, only God knows, to reach your family. But because of social media, which I think is a blessing to some extent if you think about it, we can now connect with our family and friends and everyone all over the world just by hopping on that phone, sending a text message or making a video call. I think it's a magnificent idea and it's a good invention that has helped a lot. But the bad thing there is how we use the devices, how we use the tool. Sometimes we blame the entrepreneurs for the great inventions that they build. Sometimes the fault is not in the entrepreneur, but it's in us ourselves. It's in the way we use the devices. You can't blame Mark Zuckerberg or every other social media platform out there for being the cause as the reason why you can't function properly anymore. They are not the one posting all this stuff. Your fellow human is posting it, and you're the one paying attention to it and digesting it. Now, what we are going to try to do with you today is help you to manage this tool to help your life and to help you focus and achieve your goals while also still staying connected with your friends and family. Now, social media is just a piece of the coin. You have the news outlets. Go to your browser now, whether you're using Chrome or Edge. When you click on that browser and try to find something, I bet you'll find some news update, some scary news, some good news, or you'll find some kind of ad or advertisement. Everything screaming for your attention. Pick me, click me, check me, and pick me. It's not all that bad. I mean, you got to stay connected. You got to stay informed in the world. You can be living in the world and you don't even know what is going on around you. Somehow you got to stay connected because you never know. What is going on might be affecting you somehow. And if you're not aware of it, you'll be long gone before you even realize it. So, staying up to date with the news is not a bad thing. It keeps you informed. But how you manage those information is where the problem lies. Which brings us into information overload. An average person will scroll on more than 1,000 posts a day on Instagram. An average person will watch more than 500 shorts on YouTube in a day. An average person will probably watch so many reels on Instagram and TikToks in the hundreds in a day. What does that do to your mind? You see, there is something called dopamine. And dopamine is the reason why we spend long hours on social media. Dopamine is a feeling, is kind of like a neurotransmitter in your system that releases that feeling of feeling good. You just feel so good. And because the world is so busy today, I mean, look at the cost of living has risen so high. The cost of transportation, gas, everything has gone so high. In the olden days, in the 90s and 18s, you can survive based off of one person's salary. But in the world today, even two people's salary sometimes is not enough to fund a family of 4 or 5. Now you end up in debt. So you constantly have to work and work and work longer hours. What does that do to you? It stresses your brain. Your mind and your body can only handle so much amount of work and concentration in a day before it goes rogue. And our method of reducing those stresses and bombardment of concentration and information and processing data is to find a way to release ourselves dopamine. And that is where YouTube, Instagram, and all of those things comes to do the job to help you detoxicate. What if there's a different way that you can detoxicate other than spending long hours or spending your whole day or every minute you got scrolling through the internet and just digesting everything you have out there? This is where information management comes in. There's so much information out there, and there's an increased height of depression, anxiety, and frustration. Aside from the bombardment of workload that we get from work and life itself, the amount of information you try to process in a day stresses your brain to very, very heightened level that automatically leads you into anxiety, depression, and frustration. And where social media doesn't help is when you try to use social media to reduce that anxiety by consistently even downloading more and more and more and more information. So then you may ask, okay, fine. We know that spending so much time on social media helps and doesn't help at the same time. It helps in the sense that if you have a controlled time at which you spend on there, it can obviously help to produce that dopamine that needs you to relax. However, when you spend too much time, it can get you into a level whereby you have too much heightened level of dopamine that leads to stress, anxiety, and depression. And what does that do to your focus? A person who is anxious can never focus. A person who is full of depression can never concentrate on a task because their mind is constantly processing in fear and thinking of so many things at the same time. And as a result of that, they don't even know which information to prioritize. Now, how can you manage these devices? As you have heard, the devices themselves are not bad because they help you to stay connected, they help you to stay informed, and they help you to sometimes make strategic decisions based on what is going on around. For those of us who are in the economics, those of us who are traders, those of us who are maybe investors, those of us who are in some kind of craft or the other, whereby you need updates on what is going on in the world to make informed decisions. Social media is a priceless tool that can help you become successful in doing that because it gives you access to so much resources and data at your fingertip. All you got to do is log on to your phone. But how do you then disassociate that with your personal life? How do you disassociate that with your peace, still being able to focus? This is where we are going to tackle the challenges that comes with information overload. Now, what does lack of focus cause? What does anxiety and depression cause? It costs you your relationships. It costs you your attention to details. And it costs you opportunities. Because when you have so much information you're being bombarded with at the same time, when you're not paying attention to detail, when you're not focused, many opportunities will pass you by. You find yourself focusing on something that you should never have focused on in the first place, and something that really matters to you, you lose it. And you find yourself sitting in a boardroom or among friends and family, you're no longer paying attention to what they are talking because the next thing you want to do is pick up your phone and to look at that next notification that came in. Or your mind is constantly being arrayed and detracting on what is going on your phone and your social media account. These are the problems that you can get when you're being bombarded with information and you lack focus, and how it leads to lack of focus. So how then can we use social media for what it's supposed to be, which is to help us communicate, help us stay connected, and help us make informed decisions, not to destroy our lives with too much information, too much distraction that leads to lack of attention to details, that leads to destructions of relationships, that leads to losses of opportunities as a result of distractions. Digital detox comes in. What is digital detox? It is a way of scheduling time that you spend on internet. For example, if you're at work, you can say for the whole 8 hours of work, I will not spend more than maybe 30 minutes on social media, or maybe 1 hour on social media. And you set a timer for yourself. Let's say when you take the break at work, if you're a 9 to 5 person, or if you're a student, or if you're a CEO or an entrepreneur, you give yourself time blocks that you spend on the internet. Perhaps you could be 3 p.m. Is 3 p.m. your most time where your brain is checked out and you need something to relax yourself? Maybe you can spend that 3 p.m. That 3 p.m. comes, maybe you spend 20 minutes, 30 minutes on social media just to stay informed or whatever, maybe watch funny videos or jokes, because quite frankly, in a society where everything is all digital, those can actually help you to stay happy and to stay kind of help relieve your burden a little bit. Spend 30 minutes on that, and once your 30-minute timer is over, you take it off and you go on to something else. But that will only happen if you consistently make the decision to pay the price of discipline to stick to that schedule. This is where environmental programming comes in. How can you program your environment to ensure that you are able to stick to that discipline, to stick to that plan that you have created for yourself, to make the most use of your internet devices, to help your life move forward, not destroy your life? Now, the next thing is mindfulness. You all know that there is no way you can build a meaningful relationship. You can make a meaning of your life if you're not constantly paying attention to whatever is going on in that relationship, if you're not actively listening to your partner, to your business partner, or your colleague or friends, if you're not actively paying attention to the details that needs to move your life and your business forward. This is where mindfulness comes in. Mindfulness is a process of being present. It's not only about meditation, but it's the process of being present. Maybe when it's time for you to focus, you can put your phone on do not disturb, or use a browser that does not give you news updates or internet, or I said internet, that does not give you news updates or ads. You could just use some of those tools. There are some of those tools out there that can keep those distractions away from you. And then you do deep work. You make sure that you're present in that moment and you're focused on the work you're doing. If it's 30 minutes, if it's 1 hour, if it's 45 minutes that you want to do the deep work, you can schedule a block of 45, 30 minutes, 1 hour each day. It could be 3 blocks, it could be 4 blocks, and then take 5 minute break that you go out to maybe walk around or spend time in nature, or just do something that is not digital at all. But the key here is to be present in what you do. They say multitask, but multitask is the killer of focus. Your mind can only focus on one thing at a time. So therefore, that is why it is important to focus your time on doing one thing at a time. That is one of the key aspects of being present, which is mindfulness. If you're in the conversation in a boardroom or whatever you're doing, keep your devices away and put them on silent. Don't even bring them close to you, and ensure that your mind and your being is present. Now, that is one side of mindfulness. The other part then comes in as meditation. Meditation now is the part whereby you go into a secluded area. If it's 15 minutes, if it's 30 minutes, just sit down and try to just be present at that moment. You're not doing anything. You're not checking your phone. You're not reading any book. You're not listening to anything. You're just there in a room, kind of like a void, and you're silent and you're just listening to the sound around you, and then you just let your mind be free. Thoughts might come into your head, but don't let them stay. It's a state whereby you are being, you're present, you're being, you're alive, you're being in that moment. Nowhere else, not in your mind, not in your thought. You're being there. And then you begin to access your life, access your environment, access the events that has happened and things that have not happened and things that maybe you plan to do. Then you begin to strategize and think about how to achieve them. But you first spend the 15 minutes of that meditation season to empty your mind, empty everything, and just stay present, before you then go into the other part to do the self-evaluation and strategic development and moving forward with your life. And so these are some of the two main things that you can use to handle information overload and to stay focused in a noisy world. Practicing digital detox, scheduling blocks of times where you spend time on social media to connect with family and friends, and on the internet to just be informed of what is going on around you, because you need to be informed. You can't be in a world and you don't know anything that is going on around you. That is not good. Some people might say it's a good thing, but I think it's not good. You got to know what is going on around you. But don't attach yourself to it. You can stay informed without being consumed by the information you receive. The difference is how you handle and manage those informations. When you go to social media or the internet, have a goal of what you want to do. Do I want to come and connect with my friends and family? Do I want to come and listen to a show that I love to watch? Stick to that. Don't go doing something else. If you find yourself derailing, be quick to say, I didn't come here for this. I came here for that. And go to that. And once your time block has arrived, you cut it off, turn it off back, and go do your other productive things. For mindfulness, you schedule block times whereby you do deep focused work, doing one task at a time, not multitasking, and taking 10, 5, 15-minute breaks to spend time doing something that has to do with nature. It could be just walking outside, it could be just going to the park and all that. And then lastly, another way that you can regain your focus is to spend a lot of time in nature. Nature is like a medicine. It's like a healing power. It does something so magnificent to your focus and everything. No matter how much time you might have spent on the internet whatsoever, if only you would just take a day of the week that you spend a minimum of 1 hour in nature, just enjoying it, seeing it, observing it, it does something to you. It heals you in a way that you never expect. And lastly, exercising, spending time to exercise. You might wonder, how does exercise have any impact on my focus? But you practice it. There is something about exercising. Exercising is another method of being present, because the pain that you're feeling from lifting the weights or running the miles that you're doing does not let you think of any other thing but to be present in what you're doing at that moment. And that also has proven to be a way that can help you stay away from, help you relieve your mind of those information overload. And if you find yourself stuck and you feel like you need help, this is where experts comes in. This is where your family and friends comes in. You might just maybe look for a friend to help you, but this information we have given you today should be a very powerful tool that can help you to reshape your life and take back control of your life, of your focus, your attention, and create a life of prosperity for yourself using this magnificent tool of the internet and social media that is available for you. Social media in itself, the internet in itself, is not bad. I would say it's a very powerful tool that can help you transform your life in no small way. But how you use it is what makes the difference. And that is it, guys, on the art of listening. Listening alone is not about paying attention to somebody in a room or listening in a conversation. Listening also means being present, listening to your inner self, paying attention to your body, to your mind, to your soul, to your spirit, and to your life and your journey. And practicing digital detox, practicing mindfulness, understanding the part of social media in helping your life and how it can also destroy your life depending on how you use it, are one of the parts at which you can excel and create a life of prosperity and listening in a world of noisy distractions and information overload. This is it, guys. If you're here for the first time, do not forget to subscribe, hit the notification button, and share our videos with your friends and family. If you ever have any testimony or anything that you might want to share with us, reach out to us at proverbialminds@gmail.com. And if you would like to listen to this without watching the video, you can also find us on Apple Podcast. Until the next one, guys. Peace out.